KCHW-FM thanks God-fearing brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County.
And by Chihuahua Flooring.
Chihuahua Flooring at 214 East Clay in the 3rd Street Mall offers a wide variety of products including carpet, ceramic and porcelain tile, vinyl and laminate planks, and vinyl sheet flooring. Chihuahua Flooring carries products for both commercial businesses and residential homes, including brands like National Flooring, Del Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at chihuahuaflooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at chihuahuaflooring@gmail.com.
This is KCHW 102.7.
Welcome to 2024 Talks, where we're following our democracy in historic times.
The city is taking away the beauty of the protest, the beauty of community, the beauty of having a...
Good morning. It's the KCHW Morning Show. It is Friday morning. We are here with our good friends Craig and Paula, myself, Chuck. How you guys doing this morning?
Good morning.
Doing excellent. Thanks, Chuck.
Nice,
It looks like we might actually get that weird thing called rain.
What is that?
I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while.
It's like the thing that shows up and then evaporates immediately.
Right? You know, we got some a decent rain a couple of weeks ago when it was really hot out still.
Yeah.
And I actually literally I watched it hit the ground. I go, whew, and just immediately dry.
Oh, wow.
It's like it starts raining and it takes all the moisture out of your mouth, so then you're thirsty.
Yeah, right? Right? So good morning. Did you guys have, well, Paula, you were here on Wednesday.
Yes.
Craig, have you had a good week?
Myself, yeah.
Yeah,
It
good.
hasn't been bad. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, we've, this was a rough morning and we didn't have any coffee. Paula, you brought me coffee.
I
Thank
know.
you so
Thanks
much.
to the
I
Yale. It's
appreciate
good
it.
that they're close.
I was running over to the fridge in there as that last commercial played to grab myself some creamer to put in it. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anyway, so speaking of the weather, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our weather forecast here. Today, a high of only 78 degrees.
Oh, wonderful.
It feels like a dream, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have 63% chance of rain right now this morning. Mostly cloudy again today. Rain ending in the afternoon. Mostly clear skies tonight with a high of 55, 89 and 61 tomorrow, sunny skies. It looks like about the same on Sunday for the high, 55 for the low. Then on Monday, 92 degrees for the high, 56 for the low, 88 and 56 on Tuesday. Wednesday of next week, 80 for the high, and 81 for the high on Thursday of next week. But then on Friday, it's going to get still staying in the 80s, but almost 89 degrees, so almost hitting the 90-degree weather again. So still going to be warm for a while, but not any. I don't see any triple digits. I don't even see any 90s in the future. It's going to be in the most days in the mid to low 80s.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be so nice.
Sharon,
How cold does it have to be before you guys stop playing outside up at 49 degrees? Or
Like-
where do you go? Are you at the golf course or 49, or where do you guys usually play?
Well, this week we're in Loon Lake, but golf course this time of year. And then it seems like that kind of alternates with the ski hill over the winter, at least lately, yeah.
I'm going to say negative 20.
Nice. I was going to say.
So at the ski hill, we're in the bar usually when it's cold, yeah.
See?
But
So-
then in the
so negative
springtime, they
20.
bring us out on the deck, and then they have burgers and,
Nice.
you know.
So do you get, yes, you guys do play out on the deck during the summer. Are you guys doing any shows this weekend anywhere?
Yeah, I'm playing at Loon Lake on Saturday,
Oh, that's
opening up the Loon Lake Fest
That's right.
So, you know how on Wednesday you were saying we were talking about the percentage of rain?
Yeah.
Okay, so I looked it up. That
Okay.
cackle that you heard when you were growing up. Here is what they say. The Washington Post polled its readers on knowledge of weather forecasts. Most readers believe that if the forecast calls for a 60% chance of rain, that means that it will rain across 60% of the area tomorrow or today, whenever. This is a common belief, but it's only half right. In reality, the chance of rain, or probability of precipitation, POP, P-O-P, is based on a mathematical formula that takes the forecaster's confidence into account. And that formula is as follows. The POP equals coverage times confidence. To use a very simple example, if
Kind of like our morning show.
right? If a forecaster is 100% confident that 40% of a given area will see measurable rain, then the POP is 40%. Of course, 100% confidence almost never happens in science, so the formula is often more complicated. What if a forecaster is 50% sure that rain will occur and expects that if it does occur, 80% of the area will get that rain? 50% of 80% is 40%, so the POP is 40%. Did that make sense to anybody in this room?
You know,
Math is not my strong suit.
it's too early this morning for
I
math.
was going to say, I haven't had enough coffee to actually grok that. I'm not sure what I just read.
Well, something it's like 85% of statistics is made up.
Yeah.
Really?
True story. Yeah.
Well, I believe it. I believe it. There we go.
I understood every word you said, just not together.
I
in a
was just going
sentence.
to say, just not like strung together as a sentence. Yeah, I'm with you.
I understood each individual word of that. I got it. I've heard all of those words before.
So that really shows you how accurate the weather is.
Right?
Right?
It's all based on the confidence level of our local weather people over at the NOAA office in Airway.
And they're probably just looking at their smartphone just like we are.
I hope not.
Do you think they ever just get up late and they're just like, and
Right.
they put a number out there? It's going to be wrong anyway. Who cares? But, you know, like, especially you go down south, like Texas and those areas, the weather forecast being accurate sometimes is, you know,
Life or death.
a matter of life or death.
Yeah.
And I've lived in places where the forecast was never really accurate. It's kind of wishy-washy. It would just, you know, that you just kind of ignored it because it's not going to be right anyway.
Yeah.
But then, you know, when we lived in Texas, it was usually fairly accurate because I think I don't know if they worked harder, they had the better weather scientists go down there or
You're
what.
so funny. Uh-huh.
But it just seemed like it was always a little more accurate when you go down south, especially in like those hurricane areas and tornado areas and all
I was
that.
going to say tornado areas. I know
Yeah,
in
there's an
Nebraska,
80% chance of a tornado in your area.
Yeah, right? I mean, they're like really on top of it.
Or maybe they just aim for the worst and tell you the worst case scenario. That way, when that doesn't happen, it doesn't seem so bad. But if it does, then you're prepared. Maybe.
I don't think so, because in the times that I was in the Midwest, and they would call for a tornado warning, you know, and we were all supposed to get down into the shelter or whatever, they wouldn't do it just for any storm. I mean, they were really closely monitoring exactly where that went.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to us, all of us, our junior range meteorologists here.
That's what it is. I was curious.
We were traveling and we were in an RV park, I think in Mississippi somewhere one time, and there was a hurricane or a tornado warning.
Wow.
And there was one night there was one spotted.
Yeah.
We were parked next to a river, and the wind was so bad that we were worried it was going to push our RV into the river because the RV was moving. It was not in the same place when we woke up the next morning as it was when we went to bed. It was about 2 feet closer to the river.
Wow.
But that night, in the middle of the night, they had these concrete bunkers in the RV park, and everybody in the RV park at like 2 a.m. had to cram into this concrete bunker that was half buried underground.
Yeah.
It was cold and wet and pretty terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You-
Have you ever been in extreme weather, Craig?
Nothing like that, no.
Oh my gosh. Well, so in Kansas, okay, so here's a lesson for people out there. Do not watch Wizard of Oz and then drive through Kansas during tornado season. Talk about foreshadowing, right? So we
Wow.
watched Wizard of Oz in Nebraska and we're going straight south to go to Austin, Texas, and ended up in Kansas, and of course big storms. And we go to this RV park and they're like, oh, well, and if we have a tornado, then this is where the shelter is. But if you have pets, then you have to go to this shelter because we don't allow pets in the primary shelter. And we're like, oh, okay. Is that should we be concerned? And they're like, well, we had a warning last night. So, we're just making sure everybody knows. Well, sure enough, like you said, the storm came in. The RV was rocking. I mean, we were rocking. I was like, Daniel, are we heavy enough to actually remain vertical? Because we are really. And then the rain came down and the hail that was so strong, it sounded like bullets hitting the RV.
Yeah.
And so Daniel got the warning on his phone, and we're like, get out. We opened the RV door, and of course the dogs didn't want to go out in that rain. They didn't want to go out in that hail. And so Daniel had them on leash, and I'm literally kicking them out the door, and I had Xander bundled up, and we had to go to the alternate shelter. The good news is we had it to ourselves.
Oh.
The bad news is we were the only ones in there, so I had no idea what was going on because all the news was in the primary shelter. So Daniel had to go from our shelter and keep going to the shelter because he had to find out what was going on. And we were there like you from like 2 o'clock in the morning until like 4.
Wow.
And when we got up, it turned out that the tornado had grazed the RV park. There was a restaurant attached to the RV park, and they had just painted. And the tornado had taken all the paint off of the side of the building.
Wow.
So it was that close.
Wow.
Yeah. So, terrifying. And lesson learned, do not watch Wizard of Oz right before driving through Kansas during tornado season.
we lived in a yurt in Tennessee for a while and out on a farm. And we had a tornado come through the neighborhood, and it actually hit just on the it was a big farm. It was like 2 sections, each of them were like 40 acres each. And on the other section, on the other side of it, on the other side of the street, the tornado had actually touched ground. So it was close enough, but in a yurt, you're basically in a tent.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying. We had a little add-on area, and it had an area that had an archway and a log that went to another room that had been added on. And the only thing we could think to do was get all the mattresses and make a teepee, make a tent out of the mattresses underneath that arch log, and just get under there with the laptop, watching the news,
Yeah.
until all the internet power went out.
Right. Oh my gosh, you guys were lucky.
Yeah, and then it literally sounded like a freight train was rolling through the yard. It was so loud, and everything was shaking, and that was right before, right after everything flicked off, the internet lost connection.
Are we going to become a kite?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. That would be
yurt doesn't seem like a very
no
bomb shelter like
no it wasn't
secure location. Yeah.
And then the kids, for years afterwards, anytime that emergency alert system went off, for like the next 2-3 years, they got really jumpy.
Right.
I think they had a little PTSD from that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so moving to Chihuahua, I did not know that alarm went off every day at noon. So, and again, my family grew up. My family's in the Midwest. I was born in Texas, but everybody else is in Nebraska. So hearing that alarm go off when we first moved to Chihuahua, it was like, I think everybody in my house, we all froze. We're like, are we supposed to do something? We're like, what is this? What do I do? And of course, the wonderful Chihuahua news and information. You can always tell the new people because it's like, what's with the alarm? What's going on?
It's a rite of passage for new people in Chihuahua.
Right.
To post on the Chihuahua news and information page.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on with that alarm?
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Every new person that comes here posts.
Well, I just kind of do this random thing when I hear it. I just look up in the sky.
It's funny, though, to see people that are like, oh, I've been here for 3 months. What's that alarm?
Right.
Like, how did you not?
That's when we go to lunch.
3 months?
That's our bell.
It's our siesta. Oh, man.
It is. I used to live in Findlay, Washington, and we lived on a farm in Findlay, and on the other end of the farm were all the plants that produced fertilizers, the chemical plants. I forget what they're called, what they're named. But they had the same sort of thing. For their lunch and their breaks and stuff. They had an alarm like that you could hear all through town.
Oh wow!
And they all used there were like 3 or 4 different chemical plants, and they all used the same alarm for all of them. They all took their breaks at the same time, so you could always hear those alarms going off.
Just echoing. Oh my gosh, it sounds like a terrible.
Well, when they really fire that one up, I mean, it keeps going and it's really loud. Like they just barely crack it open and they shut it off.
Oh, the one here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it capable of more?
Oh yeah, they leave it running. Like when there's a fire, it goes for a while.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and that was the other new person. The alarm. Hey, you guys, it's not noon, and that alarm keeps going off. Chewy News and Information, that alarm, it's going on. Is there something we should know? Do we need to evacuate, right? And that's the other rite of passage, is when that goes off and it doesn't stop and it's really loud and it's not noon and
And there's always a little bit of back and
Get out
forth.
your ham radio.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Your police scanner. There's always the argument there of it's none of your business, don't worry about it, it's for the fire department. But that alarm is a public warning.
I was just going to say,
if there's a fire, if there's evacuation notice, that kind of thing, I think it's a perfectly legitimate thing to go online and ask if any, because there are people out there that have police scanners that can fill you in on, okay.
Well, exactly. And I have to say, I love the people in this town because they are so good. Somebody inevitably will say, hey, what's up with the scanner? It's 2 a.m. What's going on? And then somebody with the scanner will say, oh, hey, there was, such and such happened. And then somebody posts the information. And so, the perfect place to go when it goes off at odd times is Chewy News and Information, because somebody is going to say, hey, something's going on, don't worry about it. And somebody else will say, this is what's happening. Yeah. So I love it.
Well, no, if it's like a car accident or something, to say, it's a car accident, okay, moving on. Like, we don't need
you
the
don't
details.
Need to worry about it,
Yeah. But I think it is everybody's business, I think, when that alarm goes off, to know that it's not something that either it's, an issue that's being taken care of.
Right.
Or like,
do we need to be concerned?
Yeah, we need to get the heck out. So.
Yeah.
I agree.
Do you know that it has been, a year and a couple of months since SETI's burned? So speaking of that alarm.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Just a year, just a little over a year, because we had just started living here full time when the fire happened, and hearing that alarm and finding out there was a fire downtown, right? We weren't one of the people who ran downtown, of course, but just knowing that it was that close. So, so glad somebody said, hey, because we were on alert, if we're like, oh my gosh, if they can't contain that, the whole downtown is going to go, right? So the fact that our firefighters did such an amazing job of keeping it contained and saving the Yale right next to it, the fact that they still have the facade, and so exciting that they're breaking ground and they're rebuilding. Yes. I love that. I am so excited. I keep taking pictures of progress, because I'm like, oh, they worked on the brick. Oh, they're stabilizing the back. Oh, they brought in the gravel.
I've been reaching. I've spoken with Paul and Jessica. I'm trying to get them on the morning show to come and give us a
they
little
brought
update.
the superintendent's. The office. That's when they're really going to start working on it. When they get the guy in the office there.
Yeah.
It's exciting. And there was
it's really exciting.
There's a 3D rendering of it in the paper the other day.
I need to get the paper.
Oh, yeah. It's I have it somewhere. It might be in the car. It might be over on the counter. But they had a 3D rendering of what the building's going to look like when it's done.
Oh, cool.
And it's gorgeous. It looks like the old building, but single floor. And it's got, going to have the ACE logo and everything on it. It's going to look like a really kind of fun combination of the original building and actually like a hardware store.
Okay.
So, and it'll probably be.
SETI's was never just a hardware store.
It was never just a hardware store.
SETI's was so much fun to walk into. They had beautiful displays and they had wonderful products and they had everything you could possibly need, hardware or otherwise. I remember calling my family and talking about SETI's. Oh my gosh. One of the things that we love to do every day is we have to go down to SETI's and we have to go walk through the store. When we first moved here, that was like every day we were down there. And we got to know our favorite, shop people. And, okay, this is who you want to talk to for paint. And this guy knows everything about, plumbing. And
Right. Yeah.
I love it, yeah.
Well, and I don't think, very rarely, unless you go in there a lot, it's like there's somebody that's right, like, they're always like, can I help you? And it's like sometimes almost, how that is some places, it's like you're at the secondhand store and you're like, I really don't need help. This is all secondhand stuff. But, it's like,
or going into some of the big shops, like going into the big, hardware stores and you don't see anybody, and you're trying to get some help and there's like, echoing.
You go find a contractor at Lowe's to figure out where anything is.
You can't, there's nobody there. But the SETI's people, everybody, oh my gosh, so awesome.
For a long time I was, especially when I was doing maintenance up at the golf course and then, always doing projects in my own house, I got confused for somebody that worked there a lot.
I believe that, yeah.
A lot of times people would ask me for questions and I would help them anyway, but, and I would explain, they asked me another question, like, oh, I don't really work here. And they're like, oh, you don't? And I'm like, no. And they're like, but every time I come here, you're here. I thought you worked here.
You're like, well, that's more state of my life than anything else. Daniel was working on our sprinkler system this past week, and he was at SETI so often and trying, buying things and returning things and buying things and returning things. He had a stack of like SETI's $5, whatever those store credit things are.
Yeah.
And so I think at one point he started handing them out. He's like, I've got to use these this week. Who needs a...
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, oh, babe. I don't know if our budget can afford this.
I always have the philosophy anytime I'm doing any project, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Right.
It's my tagline.
Yeah.
But so I'll overbuy things. I'll buy something for every possible scenario with the plans of, okay, I'll use what I need, and when I don't need, I'll go return it. I never return it. And I always end up spending twice what I need on every project. And,
man, yeah.
But then I have more stuff left over, and I can...
that you can use for other projects. Yeah, see?
It's always fun to have that backstock of, like, what could I possibly use this thing for that only has one possible use?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm convinced he's trying to break the world's record of how many times can he visit SETI's in one physical day, or 1 hour, actually. Because, it's like, oh, my gosh, babe. How do you get anything done?
That's kind of how projects are. I mean, with my experience with construction or working on a car, it's like it's inevitable. It's almost like you dread that next trip to the store because it's like, okay, I got everything.
Right?
No, you don't.
Then it's like as soon as you start working on it again, you're like, I'm not going to be able to finish it until I go back to the store one more time.
And what's even worse is like you couldn't tell somebody else to go get it because you can't describe the part you need. You know what you need, and you know you have to go get it. So, yeah.
Or my wife will tell me, why don't you figure out what you need before you go to the store? And I'm like, because I have no idea what I need.
Right.
I have this thing that I need to do a thing with. And
it's a thing, yeah.
I don't have time to go look at everything in their website. I know where to go in the store to where something might be. Or I can take this thing and I can go along and say, okay, because half the things I do are weird projects anyway that aren't normal.
They are creative, Chuck.
Yeah,
We're going to say they're very creative, and you come up with wonderful solutions that are not typical.
Outside the box
Outside the box thinking.
And you can't do that based on shopping online. You have to be there in person and touch the things.
Exactly.
Have you ever like bought the random box of bolts or whatever at the yard sale and like all these little just to have them because you're like going, oh, there's like 3 of the plumbing pieces I need, but there's all this other stuff. It's like I can't wait to find what I might need out of that. And
blind boxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Daniel has that, and actually, and he has, and I love you, sweetheart, but this man, he cracks me up. When he's working on a project, he literally drips screws. I could follow around behind him and just pick up all
follow
the screws.
the breadcrumbs, right?
And then he's like, oh, I need more screws. And I'm like, I really don't think you need more screws, darling. Here's like 500 of them. No, I need this screw. And then he'll drip different screws. I'm just like, babe. And it doesn't matter. He's got toolboxes, he's got containers, and actually he's very organized, but during a project, it is screw mayhem. I mean, it's like raiding screws.
Do you guys know what the messiest trade is? Far as like not cleaning up after themselves?
Is it carpenters? Construction people?
I think, did you say electricians?
Electricians, yeah.
Yeah. It's just kind
It's
of...
always electricians.
Little tiny bits of, whenever he's wiring, there's like everywhere.
Well, it's because it's like they don't... I don't know what it is. It's like it just hits the ground and disappears. I don't understand it.
Not my job.
Oh, man.
I get paid too much to run a what is it? Not a mop, but...
A broom?
A broom, yeah.
I don't have my broom operator's license.
Yeah, right.
Get the new guy to do it.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, I believe that. You have somebody who's doing the wiring and the construction and everything else, and it's just...
I believe when I was doing construction, the term for that job was the expediter. Get the expediter to do it.
The expediter.
That is the company
the superintendent or whoever is like running around trying to button up everything.
The first company I worked for, the expediter is usually like a teenager.
Oh, right, like a gopher.
Yeah, like a gopher or an expediter is a fancy name.
Yeah,
you can put on your resume. Yeah. And
there you go.
We called it that because we wanted the new guys and the young folks to
feel
to have a title and feel it is a very important job.
It is. Yeah.
But
you get stuff done.
It feels good for and I did it when I was 18, 19. That's how I started in construction, working for the company I worked for years, the contractor in Alaska. And I was the expediter for probably about the first 9 months or so. And that was my title, and I was so excited I had a title, but I didn't realize it was a made-up title.
To make you feel good.
To make me feel good, because it was my job to just do what everyone else didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That works.
Important on every job site.
Right?
Well, and I think that's why it's important when you learn a trade, like in the construction, like when you first start out, just get busy right away, because if you don't, then you're going to end up doing the least, like, the least enjoyable work, whatever, like grading out the garage.
Yeah.
That's never fun.
No.
And they don't tell you. They're like, oh, yeah, we need it 3 inches all the way across level, and they don't give you a level. They're just like, got to eyeball it, stuff like that. It's just like,
that's what self-level is for after the concrete cures.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that fixes everything.
Just pour 3 inches of self-leveler on it. You'll be fine.
We have all these projects at home, and I'm listening to Craig going, oh, Craig knows about these things. Oh.
The biggest thing I've been learning is how to say no.
Yeah, that is huge.
When people know you, and I try to keep it quiet that I know a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Just, because, especially if you know stuff and people know you know stuff, and you have a truck.
Yeah.
You never have any free time.
Then. Yeah, that's it. You're done. You're just busy helping all your friends with their projects. You don't have time for your own.
It's funny that I can't remember who I was talking to the other day, and it's like they're talking about, I got to do this and this and this, and then they look at me and they realize he has a truck. I'm like,
Speaking of, I do need to ride up to the tower. No.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Hey, I just got new off-road tires. Let's go.
Make sure to talk into the side of that microphone there, Craig. There you go.
This side.
There you go.
There
That's
you go.
better. You're coming out a little quiet.
We had a Eurovan, and boy, that Eurovan, people didn't know it, but it could hold more than a truck. We would lay the seats down or take the seats completely out of the Eurovan and have the entire van empty. We've moved entire apartments in the van, beds, bookcases, everything just layered up. We even moved a piano in that thing.
Nice.
Yeah, we did have to
Nice.
strip it down to the metal. Like everything had to come out, but we did get the piano in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I used to be a diehard van guy.
Yeah.
I had many vans in my life, but
Eurovans. Has to be a Eurovan.
Minivans or many vans?
No.
many
Eurovan.
MANY. What
Full-size vans.
Oh yeah. My favorite was my little short 78.
Right, the short ones.
yeah.
Those ones are cool.
Yeah, my little street van. It was one of those you see the little the cartoon pictures of them. Where they're like all scooty. It had a bigger the tires in the back were slightly bigger than
Have
the
like
ones
the
in the front.
heart
I
shape
know.
in the back
Right,
or whatever.
yeah.
I had
Little
the
window.
octagon bubble windows in the back.
Octagon bubble.
That
Yeah,
is
yeah.
hysterical. Is what the Scooby-Doo van.
Oh yeah,
Mystery Machine.
It had green shag carpet. Had a lounge, like an actual lounge seat as the passenger seat, bolted to the floor.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Good stuff, man. Had an old 70s speaker system, like an old 70s living room speaker system that I had converted with amplifiers and stuff to
Oh, wow.
play in the back. You could hook and this was in the late 90s, early 2000s. You could hook a laptop into the sound system with headphone jack and
Oh, cool.
play it over the sound system when you're in the back and watch movies and stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
So you could play the Carney music and offer free candy. No, I'm just
Come on, kids.
I can't believe you guys. Oh, my goodness.
There's cotton candy in here. No, but we used to do a food booth that we do at fairs and festivals. So we had the back end of it was converted to a kitchen. It was a really great a thing for. It was everybody knew we were there because they're like, oh, that's dude's van right
That's
there.
the crazy van.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
It was fun.
Octagon windows.
Oh yeah, they were great. They were great. Anyway.
He's reminiscing.
Right. We lost Chuck.
Yeah.
He's lost in his memory.
I miss my old van. I don't even know if she ever had a name.
What was that? She? You said she.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Of course.
So Lisbeth,
Yeah.
Regina.
Regina. Well, I'll posthumously name her Regina.
Yeah, I name my vehicles. You guys name your
Oh,
vehicles?
absolutely.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Although when I got rid of her when we had kids, it didn't have any place for the kids to go, and it was really more of a single guy's vehicle anyway. It
Yeah.
went to a funk band
Oh, perfect.
that used it to travel around the Pacific Northwest, and
Perfect.
they actually did like online concerts and little sort of like the what are the concerts they do online that they do in the back of a bus or a van? It's sort of along the lines. There's Tiny Desk. There's one similar, almost as popular as Tiny Desk. They do in the back of I think it's in the back of a Sprinter van or something. But
I'm
yeah,
not familiar with that. I know what you're talking about, but I'm not familiar with the name.
They would post their rehearsals and their stuff in the back of their van and travel around. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Well, and actually for a studio inside of a car, it's actually a pretty good place to record yourself if you don't have anything better.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it's not like a little rectangle room or whatever. It's actually absorbs the sound. And
it's like a little sound booth.
It is.
Especially with shag carpet down on the floor and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And I double insulated the walls.
Yeah. See, it was probably perfect.
It was good stuff.
I thought about, getting one of those toy haulers and using that as a mobile practice space. Because it's got like the place to put your ATV or whatever. That's probably enough room for a drum set, maybe.
Yeah. If it can fit an ATV, it'll fit a drum set. Nothing else but the drum set.
My brain was still on a van. You're talking about the big car haulers. Yeah, there's totally room for a drum set in there.
Yeah.
That's like the size of our studio. We could put a drum set in here. Got an extra drum set, Craig, laying around?
Yeah, I do, actually.
For the radio station?
Well, Dirt Road Doug's, but yeah. He can put it down here.
He's fine. He would love to have his drum set here.
He would love to have it here for everybody to use. That would be awesome.
We could leave it on the stage.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I'll talk to him.
There you go. Hey, so it is 7:50. We're going to get into events, but I think we should move that to the second half of the show.
Okay.
We'll get into our local events. There's not a lot going on this weekend. But I want to see if you guys want to do some trivia.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got a little something different today. I mean, they're still just trivia questions.
Okay.
Not from our same source. Some of these are a bit maybe easier to answer.
Are you saying that we need easy trivia?
No,
that's probably an accurate assessment of me today.
I'm saying trivia that's a little less vague than the normal trivia. You know, some of the normal trivia we do, it's there are 3 of these.
Some things, right? All right.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Okay. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Are you guys ready? Okay. So this first one here, this is 32% of parents say this. They say this is the most difficult thing they encountered when they became a parent.
Are you a parent?
I am a parent.
Okay. What is it? The most difficult thing about raising a child. This probably comes in the early years of childhood raising.
I would say lack of sleep.
Oh, that's not it, but that's a good answer.
So 30% of parents what?
32% say this was the most difficult thing they encountered raising their kids. And this one kind of surprised me because I barely even remember this part, and I don't think it was that hard for us anyway.
Are they talking about potty training or something?
It is potty training. Yeah. It is potty training. I know we did it. I know we had the special little seat that was a little seat inside the big one that was held up by a magnet, and you could pop it down. And then occasionally it would be popped down. You didn't realize it, so you'd sit on the toddler seat. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our kids were pretty easy, though. Did you guys have a hard time potty training your kids? Was it you don't have to talk about that.
I was going to say, I'm thinking about this. I don't know if I want to talk about this on
Friday
that's morning,
fair.
Right?
That's fair.
I don't know, natural disasters and potty training. I'm not sure that's going to endear us to our audience this morning.
Right? Okay. So another parent-child question. 80% of children say they've lied to this about their parents. This is, let me see if I can give you a good hint.
Probably about drinking or going out at night.
It's not that serious.
Okay.
It's 80%. It's kind of a daily thing. It's a little white lie, I think. A day. That's something you do every day. That you might lie to your parents. Say, yeah, I did that.
Brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth. That is exactly
high
it.
five.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
We harmonized.
We did. That was good.
That was awesome.
Right?
That was awesome.
It must be like musical or something.
I know, right? Okay. This is the only fruit that does not ripen after it's picked. What is it? And I don't remember. I don't know what the truth is off the top of my head, but I want to say this isn't actually even considered a fruit, but I could be wrong.
Like a tomato?
No, actually, a tomato is considered a fruit.
Right, I know, that's right.
Yeah,
But it's not like people don't normally see it as a fruit. All right, Craig.
And I could be wrong about this, but it's one of those I think that is often talked about. Oh, that's not actually a fruit.
Is it banana? No, banana has a seed.
No, it's not a banana.
Okay.
And I could be completely wrong. Maybe it is a fruit. So. Bigger than a banana.
A pineapple?
No.
You said bigger than a banana.
You're getting closer in size.
Okay. A jackfruit.
No, but that is an interesting outside the box guess.
All right, bigger than a banana.
Coconut?
No, not a coconut. It's something more common than a coconut. We can grow them around here.
Cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe. A cantaloupe doesn't ripen after it's picked. That's what this says. I don't.
Yeah, but it ripens on your counter.
It does.
It goes from hard to squishy.
I don't know if I believe that because sometimes you buy cantaloupe that is
Who's
underripe
writing this
in the
trivia?
store.
Right? We have to vet this. I have to laugh. We
I
had
don't know if that was
3
true.
live watchers, and then we started talking about potty training and natural disasters, and we're back down to 2.
Oh man.
They had to go.
I had to go literally.
Wow.
Oh, see, it's a good thing we changed the topic there.
Right? Wow.
All right, we have time for one
Okay.
more trivia question, right?
We have time for a few more.
Okay.
We can do a few more.
Okay.
All right. Okay. A new report reveals, I believe this. The least happy workers are in retail. What is the happiest industry to work in? Actually, I read that question wrong. I don't know if I believe this, but
Okay,
what
say
is
it
the
again then. The happiest?
Okay, so new report reveals the least happy workers are in retail, which I definitely believe that. It says the happiest industry to work in is blank.
The panda keepers.
How could you not be
Right?
happy if you were a panda keeper?
Have you seen where they have to go and they have to cuddle the pandas and they have to,
Wrestle with them and play with them.
Yes.
And they get down on the ground and roll around with the pandas.
Right?
Such a rough life.
I
no,
know,
it
right?
is not it.
Okay.
I do know. I had a friend once that was a penguin keeper at,
how
at
fun.
an aquarium. And it was her job to wrangle the penguins. And also once or twice a day, she had a gaggle of penguins.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know what you call a group of penguins.
Remember, we looked this up once.
Right. That'll be your next trivia question. What do you
Okay.
call a group of
A
penguins?
parade.
A parade. Is it really?
Sure.
That sounds right. But she would actually, she would take a parade of penguins around the aquarium. And it was a very popular aquarium in Tennessee, in Gatlinburg. And it was her job to walk around with the penguins for all the kids to meet the penguins.
Nice.
What is it called?
A waddle. A group of
waddle.
penguins is called a waddle.
That is
So
appropriate.
she took a waddle of penguins. I love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
She would, and she had to take them for walks. And she took them for walks, and they would follow her around.
Right?
And they were so happy to go out on their walks because they got to meet all the kids, and they loved walking up to the kids.
Oh
You
my
weren't allowed to
gosh.
pet them,
Right?
but they really wanted you to pet them.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you see the documentary from the National Geographic team that was out, wherever the penguins are living? And they were trying to get really close and personal with the penguins with their telescope lens and all this other stuff. But the penguins discovered they were there, and they kept walking over to the team.
No.
And so the team was like, go be in nature. We're trying to film you in nature. And they're like, hello, how are you doing today? And they were coming over and they kept having to move. And they had to totally, cancel the shoot because the penguins got so used to them being there and interacting with them that they were no longer, wild.
They're such curious, friendly creatures. I've heard reports sometimes. I think I remember hearing something about sometimes these documentary crews that go out. They actually are kind of a danger sometimes. They have to keep a distance and do the telephoto lenses because they will befriend the camera crews.
Exactly.
And then they're not. Then it actually puts the whole entire
colony,
waddle, I guess,
yeah, right,
in danger because they will be less afraid of predators after
right.
interacting with humans. So, but they're so cute.
They're so cute. They're so cute. Or the sea lions who get very used to people and they jump on the boats in Monterey.
Mm-hmm.
So in Monterey Bay, they have the wonderful Monterey Bay Aquarium that's a rescue as well. So a lot of the sea lions that for some reason as pups are abandoned or their mom got eaten by a shark or whatever, they'll go to the aquarium and the aquarium will hold them and then put them out in the wild in the bay. And yeah, sometimes the sea lions will jump onto the boats because they're used to people.
They know
and
that
they have to, yeah.
They know they'll get a safe ride and they're out of the water and probably a snack.
Right. So it was happening with the otters a lot, right? Because they did a lot of otter rescue. And then, the sea lions. So now they are coming up to the divers. So this is terrible. This is actually terrible. I mean, nothing bad happened, everybody. Don't worry about it. But in California, in the mid 80s, 90s, right on the bay, there were a lot of great white shark attacks. And it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So the surfers were finding little coves with lots of rocks to practice surfing instead of the big wide open beaches.
Yeah.
So my mom and I were down by the water and we're watching the surfers, and it's so much fun to watch them because they're kind of defying gravity, right? Because they just jump up on this board out of the water and they do their thing and they're navigating the rocks. And a sea lion popped up right behind this surfer. I have never seen somebody get out of the water so fast. Because all of us were like, oh, there's something there. And then we realized that it was a sea otter or a sea lion.
Yeah.
And the guy, you could see him. He's just like, because somebody had just gotten bitten by a shark on a surfboard. So, I mean, it was literally within days. And oh my gosh, you went from that immediate shock and horror to just, we laughed so hard. And that guy, he was walking a little funny when he got out of the water.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I would imagine. Time to clear out the old wetsuit.
Yeah, time to go home, wash it out.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
So what was the answer to that trivia question?
We got it right.
No, the one after. Didn't you ask us another one?
Oh, yeah. The question was, the new report reveals the least happy workers in retail. What is the happiest? We didn't go anywhere near the actual
No.
right answer.
Okay, so what's your guess?
But we did discuss it earlier in length about this particular profession.
I was thinking like a drug rep, but I mean that's really all out there.
That's artificially happy. That doesn't count.
They're like, hey, man.
No, it's something that Craig and I have both worked in this industry.
Construction?
They say the happiest workers are in construction. Have you ever been on a construction site? There's not a lot of people whistling happy tunes on it.
That's a toughie,
But I know a lot of
But
people
you're
that do it and
building
love it.
something.
Like you gotta question the source, like who writes that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I would say like, morning show hosts.
Oh, there you go.
You know
We
what
are
I mean?
very happy.
Yeah, we are.
But
With
we don't-
caffeinated.
We don't
Yes.
get paid though. Does this count as a profession? I don't think it counts.
Well, you get paid.
I will have to say, though, being on a construction site,
You
doing
get
something-
compensated.
Doing something different every day, much to me anyway, in my mind, much better than
Doing the same thing every day.
doing the same thing every day, sitting in front of a desk,
Right.
Or again, retail. Oh,
Oh my gosh, have you seen those odd jobs? Like one job is like an armpit smeller to test deodorants.
oh yeah.
Right? I mean, all these weird, and they're okay. Have you seen the ads for Lumi, the body
Yes.
bar?
Yeah.
Have you? So she's talking about, you will smell 40% less, and I'm just like, what job was that? Because she's not talking about your underarms.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Wow. Wow.
it's like, how did you gather that data?
There's equipment.
There was some
maybe?
signing of waivers
Right.
that happened.
Wow.
Personal space was not an issue in that research. Oh, goodness.
There's a poll. Moving along.
Chick is like, I like having Paula here. You never know what's going to come out of her mouth.
Right. I love it. All right. Okay. Let's see here. So this is a matter of time of the day. Typically, women worry about this at night, while men worry about this first thing in the morning.
Brushing your teeth?
What is it? No, not brushing your teeth. That was already an answer, and you two didn't do it in sync, so double points lost.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Craig, you lost points. She lost 2 points on that one. No, you did.
I still respect you.
I think this is the thing we all worry about.
Is the house locked? No.
No, it's a common household worry.
Did I turn off the oven?
No, is that a common household worry?
Did I take the trash
Yes.
out?
No.
That's-
More of a bigger picture issue than it's not it's not a single task that you've missed. It's basically a general, overall well-being of your household. Concern.
Do we have any money left?
Money.
Money.
Money is the concern. Women are concerned about it more at night. Men more in the morning.
Huh.
Because you wake up in the middle. You wake up out of bed in the morning. Your eyes pop open. Oh no, we're broke.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Whereas women will stay up all night, saying, "Oh, we're broke.
Our
we're
minds
broke.
churning.
We're broke. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a guy thing. Do you fall asleep instantly?
Yeah, because I run myself pretty.
Yeah.
I exhaust myself.
Yeah, and Daniel, man, he hits that pillow. He is out. He is out. And it's like,
it could be frustrating, I bet, because especially if you have sleeping problems or, like any kind at all.
Yeah.
It's just like, it must be nice to go to sleep that fast. I just sit
mid-conversation, you're just like,
right?
Okay, well.
He's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were watching a movie the other night with the family, and it was the third time we'd attempted to watch this particular movie.
Oh, no.
Still haven't seen the last 3/4 of it.
Okay, but there's something
Isn't
different
that I've watched the beginning of a lot of movies.
Right?
Right.
I watched the beginning and then like the last 5 minutes, and then everything else in between. I know something happened,
It resulted in a thing. But there's something different about being at home and watching a film. Because I know there's nothing more comfortable to me than hearing the drone of a screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really invested in what's going on. And then sitting next to my honey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm close to him and I'm comfortable. So yeah, if Daniel and I are watching a movie at home and we're like watching a movie together, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm totally out. And he's, he watches it. Oh, how was the movie, honey? Oh, it was good. Okay, good.
Well, and it's like, I think if it's in the evening, that's how, I just can't. I can't stay up through a movie unless it's super intriguing. Like, it has to be like, just like it's really popping the synapses, making some connections that weren't there previously or something. If not, it's like some action movie. I'm like,
Right.
If I stop moving, I'm out.
Yeah.
If I sit still for more than 5 minutes, I'm done. I'm out. Out cold. Doesn't matter how much sleep I got the night before. What I'm doing, I'm out. Yeah. I can't do it. It's weird.
I think it's a guy thing. Does not happen with me. I will sit up for hours. Well, as you know, because I have insomnia issues. So, yeah, last night was good. I went to bed at like 1:30. But, yeah, it takes forever. It takes forever.
I went to bed about 2 last night, but we had to make a late night grocery run in town.
I was going to say, where in town?
Not
at 2 in the
By
morning?
the time we got home, got all the groceries put away, because it has been a while. We like to procrastinate going to the grocery store, and I had my big grocery list for the pickup at this big giant overproduced box store that is not in Chewelah, and I forgot to submit it in time to go pick it up. Well, we weren't going to have time today to go do grocery shopping, and we needed some stuff for the weekend. Huge list, as what happens when you actually sit down and make a list, and realized after I got done with stuff yesterday, oh no, we're going to have to go inside the store and shop. And it was, we barely made it. We were one of those people like the cashier, 3 cashiers got overtime just to get us out of the store.
Just to get you out of the store?
We had 2 full grocery carts full of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And, right in the middle, they were 3/4 of the way checking through our stuff, and their computers crashed. So they had to unbag everything. And check everything out again. It was like $500 for their groceries.
Wow. Okay, I am giggling because I know you're an amazing family. And so I'm imagining the days leading up to this grocery shopping where you guys are like, okay, we have some ramen and we have some crackers and we've got a little bit of broth, so it's like I can imagine you guys these last few days like weird sciencing together like a meal. I think we have a little bit of tuna maybe, or there's some pickles over here from that pickle run, or
I think we had grilled cheese with the crust. If you put the crust on the inside on a grilled cheese, use enough mayo in there, you'll never notice.
You'll
it's
never
crust.
notice.
Yeah.
Oh, too fun.
Yeah. All right, so let's do 1 or 2 more questions. We'll go ahead and get into our break here. Let's see. What do we have here? This is a good question. I like this one. 53% of people say this person changed their life for the better. Who is it?
Their spouse.
Nope.
Their children.
No, it's somebody usually
Their
from
dog.
somebody from somebody's childhood usually.
Their grandparent.
This is a profession.
Oh.
Their teacher,
Their
coach.
teacher.
Their teacher.
Yeah.
Their teacher. 53% of people say that one of their teachers made them a better person in life.
Do you remember any of your early education teachers?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're in Chewelah. You still see them everywhere, right?
Not all of them, but some of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I remember my teachers, but I kind of meeting them as an adult, I never expected them to really remember me because they have so many kids every.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that some of them do, though.
Mm-hmm.
They remember each kid. They have their memory, and it's great. Yeah.
I still have some of my middle school teachers. I'm good friends with them on Facebook and stuff, and we still talk. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember my 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Logan.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I loved her so much, but she was mean and intimidating, and she dyed her hair pitch black, and she had expectations,
Mm-hmm.
and boy, you didn't want to disappoint Mrs. Logan. She was my social studies teacher. Yeah. I mean, I still remember, making sure that I did my work for Mrs. Logan. And then Mr. Russell in high school, he made history alive. Like, I mean, he made it so he would come dressed up at school, and he'd, show up as
cool.
all these different characters, and he would bring paintings to class and be like, okay, what can you tell me about this time period based on this painting? And he just made everything so so alive, so real. And so he was a hoot. He was awesome.
Wow.
Well, it's very important, I think, for teachers to really just love to teach, because if they don't love to teach, they're going to, I'm sure you had some professors or teachers and going through school. They weren't, that's not what, I mean, it's a hard job, and you don't get compensated enough for it. So, of course.
Like my sophomore year algebra teacher. Oh, she was not cut out for the job.
Yeah. Yeah. And all my math teachers up to Mr. Henderson. Mr. Henderson was another wonderful influence. I got in his math class because they thought I was, 1 + 1 = 7. Mm-hmm. And I was in like the rudimentary remedial math classes up until my sophomore year in high school, because I was just so bored of those stupid classes. Mm-hmm. And there was one class in high school where they had a new concept math class for those of us who just couldn't get that 1 + 1 was actually 5 and not 7.
Right.
And they put us in it, and it was all these workbooks, and I loved them, and I did the entire series of the year in like a month.
Mm-hmm.
And the instructor was like, "Why are you in my class?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And so I ended up right? I'm just a kid. I ended up in Mr. Henderson's algebra class, and all of a sudden I was setting the curve. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Henderson and I became great friends. He sponsored me for my my high school, and I went all the way to trigonometry with Mr. Henderson.
Oh, wow.
Love him.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And he was like, I'm going to get you into, he really wanted me to go to the Coast Guard Academy. He was a Coast Guard retired service person and was the recruiter for the Coast Guard. And so he was like, I want you to go to the Coast Guard Academy, and we're going to go here, here, and here. And I'm like, Mr. Henderson, you haven't seen my transcript. I did really well in your class because I really like you. But that's not reflective of all my other classes.
Right.
Right.
I think one of my favorites, Mr. Shanahan. He was a history teacher in high school. I ended up going to college to get a history major because of Mr. Shanahan. He was very no nonsense. He was actually an old biker.
Oh, fun.
He started teaching late in his career because biking didn't pay the bills, I guess. No, but you show up to class every day, and all of your notes would already be written on the whiteboard.
Oh, wow.
And he'd say the first part of the class every day was copying the notes. He'd take your notes. This is what we're going to learn today, and everything would be written out for you. And then he would go through and discuss everything in the notes. And then for your tests, you were allowed to use your notes that you took. He wanted you to use the notes to learn everything. Mm-hmm. And it was his theory was that you read the notes, because you'd read the notes, write the notes down, discuss the notes,
right,
and then read your notes again when you took the test, because the tests were all based on the notes. So it wasn't so much about. It was great for the kids that can't really listen well, like me. The teachers get up in front of the class, I hear Charlie Brown voices, wah, wah, wah. And for the people that need to read it and learn it, having the looking at it, writing it, looking at it again, then discussing it. So you know what you're about to expect. That way, when you do hear it, you're like, okay, I know exactly what he's talking about. Whereas the first time, if somebody to this day, somebody tells me something the first time, I can't. I have auditory processing thing. I can't understand. I don't know what people are saying to me. I just hear Charlie Brown voices.
Yeah. No, as a teacher, kids there's several different ways that people learn. And so making sure as an instructor that you're trying to reach as many of those as you can. I know when I was teaching adults, computer stuff, right? You have the written, and then a lot of people only do things interactively. So I had when it's now my brain has gone blank. When it's theoretical, like I can't have everybody build their own controller, right? I can't have everybody. So we would have the information, but I had a squish ball that I would throw around class. And so everything would be like, okay, answer the question when you get the ball, keep moving.
Oh,
and by giving them that activity, we would make it a game. We would make
Yeah.
everything fun, and then all this dry computer, logic suddenly became a little bit more fun, and people were able to get it. But yeah, you're always trying to get, how many different ways can I make sure that the people who learn differently are getting the auditory, the reading, the physical, the interactive,
An important lesson that Mr. Shanahan taught us was, it's not necessarily cheating. It's you have everything you need already at your disposal. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to memorize everything in the top of your head. You can use your resources at your disposal. You don't have
Find
to
the answer,
memorize
yeah.
everything and regurgitate it back.
Yeah.
And there's different ways to learn.
But I'm sure the questions were
he kinda taught
critical
us that.
thinking questions
Yeah.
where you had to use
Right.
the resources that he gave you
Yeah.
to come up with your own answer.
And he was also hilarious because he had his Hall and Potty Pass, Hall and Potty Pass, and it was written on there. It's spelled Poddy. It was a big 1/4-inch chunk of steel, and if you fell asleep in Mr. Shanahan's class, he would go to your desk. He would give you a count to 3 to wake up, and he would hold that Hall and Potty Pass above your desk, and then drop that 1/4-inch piece of steel on your desk
Oh, wow.
while you were asleep. And everybody would just wait for someone to
Somebody
fall
fall
asleep in
asleep.
class. Yeah, and then people would point. People would like snitch on other
Right.
They wave their hand really quiet, Mr. Shannon, Mr. Shannon, and then point at somebody that's asleep, and the whole class would be like, "Ooh, they're gonna get it."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyway, well that takes us about to our break here.
All right.
Do you guys want to do one more question, or you head to break?
I want to give you one more question.
Okay, one more question. This was actually something we kind of discussed earlier. I don't know if I want to go back here or not, but we're going to go there anyway.
Waddle, potty training.
According to a new poll, 30% of married couples share this. What is it?
Oh, I don't know if I want to know this.
I-
Right? Yeah, Stephen Craig and I were just like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I personally do not. I find this on a level of gross from 1 to 10.
Oh, it's a toothbrush, isn't
probably
it?
about a 6. No, a toothbrush would be an 8, I think. An 8 or 9.
Okay.
A towel?
Yeah, kids don't share your toothbrushes.
Yeah, it's just gross.
Yep. Not a towel.
Yeah, no.
I'd say something grosser than a towel.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know the answer to you.
I think we can probably just leave no answer on that one. I think.
Oh no, we're gonna get to an answer.
Oh man. Okay, they share the same cup.
No.
I was thinking
No,
coffee
this
cup. Yeah.
This is I'd say something you do after you get out of the shower. Some married couples will share this,
It's not a towel.
or something you use if you didn't take a shower.
Oh, it's after the shower.
yeah.
A hairbrush, maybe comb.
You can also use this if you didn't take a shower.
Deodorant.
Deodorant.
Okay, that's not bad.
No.
Deodorant.
Yeah, you get.
Why would that be bad?
I don't know. I find that a little.
You don't like her antiperspirant?
No, I have my deodorant in my spot, and it's my deodorant, and I wouldn't use my wife's deodorant.
Well, it's funny because
Our
we
kids
pick
have
out
their
deodorant
deodorant.
that smells good to us.
Right.
We should be picking out deodorant that smells good to our significant other.
Right. Because it's really for other people. It's not for you anyway.
You're like, never mind. We talked about that earlier.
Right? I have a sudden urge to sniff both the men in the office.
With that, I'd recommend against that because I did wake up 10 minutes before I had to be here today. Slept in late. With that, we're going to go ahead and take our break. We're going to take a moment, thank our sponsors. Hear a little news. We will be right back. KCHW Morning Show, 102.7.
Please write this down right away.
It's 8:22.
And by Chihuahua Flooring.
Chihuahua Flooring at 214 East Clay in the 3rd Street Mall offers a wide variety of products including carpet, ceramic and porcelain tile, vinyl and laminate planks, and vinyl sheet flooring. Chihuahua Flooring carries products for both commercial businesses and residential homes, including brands like National Flooring, Del Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at chihuahuaflooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at chihuahuaflooring@gmail.com.
This is KCHW 102.7.
The Public News Service Daily Newscast, August the 16th, 2024. I'm Mike Clifford. First to Pennsylvania, wage growth has rebounded from pre-pandemic lows and now exceeds the national average. That's according to the latest Pennsylvania Workforce Trends report.
The data show average hourly earnings for non-supervisory workers grew almost 4% between 2019 and this year. Pay grew even faster among low-wage workers at 9.2% in Pennsylvania, but that's not as much as the U.S. average of more than 13%. Carrie Amon with the Pennsylvania Workforce Development Association says despite the wage increases, Pennsylvanians are well aware that the cost of living has also been on the uptick.
Employers are, in fact, paying their workers more in certain occupations and certain percentiles of workers. So we've seen significant increases, I think almost to 10% wage increases in what we would typically call low wage workers.
For Public News Service, I'm Danielle Smith.
15 of the 22 Pennsylvania local workforce development areas saw increased weekly wages from the first quarter of 2019 to the fourth quarter of 2023. And the Biden-Harris administration Thursday released the results of the first Medicare drug price negotiations, a milestone in Democrats' decades-long quest to have the nation's largest payer use its leverage to lower prescription drug prices, that from Politico. They report the result is $6 billion in savings across 10 drugs when the new prices take effect in 2026. Beneficiaries could save roughly $1.5 billion in out-of-pocket costs. And a new study shows that more than 1 million tons of animal waste is produced every year in the U.S.
Opponents say the emissions produced by CAFOs pose a risk to public health. Confined animal manure, waste, and urine fall into slatted floors into a manure pit and are then piped into a pond or manure lagoon. Queen Mary University of London Global Public Health graduate Elise Pohl explains the disposal process.
And then they take that manure and they pipe it into trucks to fertilize land. While it is sitting in that lagoon, it emits several different components: ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, methane, endotoxins, carbon dioxide.
Pohl says the facilities usually have no ventilation system, which permits particulate matter to float in the air amidst feces and dust. The Illinois Environmental Council says the state has 30,000 livestock operations, including an estimated 500 large CAFOs, one of the highest numbers of large-scale factory farms in the country. Large-scale ag producers say they are trying to meet consumer demand and are constantly looking for ways to be more environmentally friendly. I'm Terry D. reporting.
This is Public News Service. We head next to Indiana, a state that will be represented by about 90 delegates at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago next week.
Indiana Democratic Party Chairman Michael Schmull says he's brimming with enthusiasm as the state prepares to send its delegation to the convention, which begins Monday. Schmull says the total contingent is expected to number close to 120 people, including guests and family members.
Obviously, our convention is later than the Republican one by a few weeks. A lot has happened in the last month or so on the Democratic side, and there's just huge enthusiasm.
Despite Indiana not being a key presidential battleground state this cycle, Schmull remains hopeful. He points out that the Democratic National Committee is investing significantly in Indiana to boost voter turnout and organize grassroots efforts. I'm Joe Ellery, Public News Service.
Indiana is among the reddest states in the Midwest. However, Hoosiers put the state in the Democrats' column for President Obama in 2008. That had not happened in the state since 1964. And as Social Security marks its 89th anniversary, the program's future remains a crucial topic of discussion.
Jennifer Carlson, state director for AARP Ohio, led a community conversation in Ohio to commemorate the occasion, focusing on the challenges facing Social Security and the importance of protecting it for millions of Americans. She says the program remains vital for older Americans.
94% of Ohio's voters aged 50 and older are more likely to vote for a candidate who will work to protect Social Security. From our viewpoint, if you pay into it and earn through a lifetime of hard work, you should count on it.
During the event, Carlson emphasized the financial challenges facing Social Security, particularly the risk of a 20% benefit cut if Congress doesn't act. Panelists discussed potential solutions such as eliminating the payroll tax cap and improving the cost of living adjustment formula to ensure the program's long-term solvency. Farah Siddiqui reporting.
Finally, with Connecticut schools starting soon, doctors say healthy practices can help kids heading back to the classroom. More from Edwin Javier.
In the transition from summer to school time, parents can get kids on a regular meal and sleep schedule. Dr. Melissa Santos with Connecticut Children's Medical Center feels parents should check in with their kids about their mental health to see how they feel about returning to school.
Doing things like at dinner time, talking about one great thing that happened to them for the day or one thing that wasn't the greatest. Sometimes families call it like the hits and pits of the day. It's just a nice way to start talking about, this is what really went well for me today. This is kind of what I didn't think went so well.
Santos notes back to school can be stressful for parents. She says kids can feed off this stress and might only increase back to school nervousness. Instead, she says parents can model good stress relief, then kids can learn better habits to address similar issues.
This is Mike Clifford. Thank you for wrapping up your week with Public News Service. Hear us on great radio stations, your favorite podcast platform, and find our content and trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
Here's Craig.
Oh, very nice.
And welcome back to the KCHW
That was
Morning Show.
lovely.
Little intro from the lovely Craig McQueen.
Yes, it's nice having a musician in the office. That is so
Right?
nice.
Right. So we're gonna, as we continue on these Friday mornings with Craig, our everybody around town, especially in the music scene, knows Craig.
Everybody knows Craig. Yes.
Craig, you're a very hardworking guy.
I stay busy.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, and
Yeah.
really done a lot. The whole McQueen family's done a lot for music in the area.
Oh yeah.
Not just on stage, but off stage as well, behind the scenes. So we're really, really happy to have you here, and we want to start developing this Friday morning show to be sort of centered on local music, and just music in general, and really promoting all of our local musicians, all the events, the music-based events happening around town, and not just town, but the whole area, our whole listening area. Just really sort of gets help the music scene here just build and continue to grow. So.
Well, and I think it's interesting, or it's important for people to know that there is activities going on because, through the winter months and whatnot, it might get a little bit, you might get a little isolated in this island of ours where, there's not much going on. But there is things going on. It's just a matter of getting the communication, and the postings out. And I try to do that as much as I can. I do a weekly post on my Facebook page and let people know where, like my karaoke is happening, and then also my live bands where we're playing at. And so it's starting to gain more traction. But what I wanted to do with this morning show is just kind of, have people kind of submit things to me to just kind of bring attention to it. Because sometimes I don't see it. I try to do research and find out what's going on, but I don't necessarily always see what's happening. So
Yeah. So if you're out there, if you are a musician, if you hear anything going on, make sure to contact us or Craig. You can send us a message. You can even submit.
Well, I want to make it almost easier, like maybe just setting up a group. I mean, there's already some groups that are like Stevens County Musicians or Stevens County Nightlife. There's some different ones that people do post on, but it'd be nice to have one that was just specifically for this show.
Right. Yeah. There's the McQueen music page. Yep.
Yeah. The McQueen family music.
Yeah.
I started that just to kind of, just basically more of the same thing, just getting more word out of what's happening. And so people that want to join that, they can, and so they can see even more of my postings and maybe some special pictures from the events and stuff. I put some different things on there. So
nice.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. And it's from the radio station, we definitely want to start doing more events and utilizing this theater as well as promoting the events that other people are doing around town. Not even around town, but around the area. So,
Yep.
Very cool. Do you have anything for us right now?
Well, I do. So Loon Lake Summerfest is happening tomorrow. I actually was able to do that last year, which was great. It was a great event, and I expect the same this year. Vendors and things for the kids to do, a car show. Two Stones, One Bird, my band will be opening, and we're running sound. And there's quite a few other great acts that will be following. One being Chaz and Steve Riddler.
Okay. Yep.
Rusty Jackman, who's from Idaho. Not Jackman, Jackson, Rusty Jackson. I actually met him for the first time last night, and he's a fabulous player. More kind of country, folky kind of stuff, but great for a large audience. Yeah. And then my parents' band, Dinosaurs, is going to be there.
With nice. Dino?
Oh, Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
I was going to say Dino's playing? When Dino's there, it's a Dinosaurs.
Dino, no Dino. Say that 10 times fast.
But I did want to say that, oh man, I forgot I was trying to jot down all these notes so I wouldn't forget anything. But of course, like certain specifics, like the band. I needed to know which band it was coming to the winery here.
Well, tell us about this the Loon Lake Festival. Where is it at? The times? Do you have that?
Okay, so it's put on by the Loon Lake Historical Society, and it's going to be at the old schoolhouse. Loon Lake's not a very big area, but it's off of 395 a little ways. There's I think it's Maple Street, right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the old schoolhouse.
Yeah.
Loon Lake. What time? What are the times?
It's good. So I think it kicks off at about 10, but music starts at 11:30.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah, I'm just getting. Okay. I wanted to get this information really fast. I apologize.
Well, and while you're doing that, the planning is underway now for Fall Fest. It's going to be October 5th. It's going to be in conjunction with the Firefighter Olympics. Those Olympics are happening the Olympics are happening in the park.
No way. And we have Firefighter Olympics here?
We have Firefighter Olympics. It's not an all-day thing. It's about an hour or two, and then they do the award ceremony. But there's a series of competitions for the firefighters. The firefighters are going to be out all day with their boots for donations.
Wow.
As we all know, all firefighters around the country, but closest and dearest to our hearts are local firefighters.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's okay. Our firefighters are awesome.
Are absolute rock stars.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And as you know, we discussed that SETI's fire earlier. Man, our firefighters literally, without exaggeration, saved our town.
Yeah, they totally did.
Literally. And
they totally
we owe them, everybody who ever has anything to do downtown owes them a lot. So.
Yeah. They are amazing. I have to giggle when they were doing a fundraiser for Zach, and they had all these amazing local things that they were raffling. A couple of the items that they were raffling were art pieces that were made out of old firefighter gear.
Oh, cool.
And one of them was a lamp. Did you go? Did you see it? Okay. So there was a lamp, and then another one was, I can't remember what the other one was. But I didn't realize it was a lamp. And so I'm like, okay. So I keep going to like the firefighter who was closest. I'm like, okay, so this raffle then is going to bring this equipment to the firefighter? And he's like, no, it's a raffle for you. And I'm like, well, why would I want an oxygen tank? And he's like, well, it's not an oxygen tank, it's a lamp. I'm like, oh.
I've seen some amazing stuff made out of fire hose.
Even
like resin furniture that's made out of fire hose and some really cool stuff.
There was I don't know why I just couldn't see it. There was some amazing stuff he had made. One was, like I said, out of the tank, and it was a really neat lamp that would be great in like a man cave or something, a contemporary office. I mean, it was really, really cool. And I just could not see past the tank.
Yeah.
It's like I totally didn't see, I mean, there was a light bulb on it. How did I not,
You got to think outside the tank, Paula.
Anyway, yeah, amazing. I mean, he had done some really, really creative stuff with old firefighter gear. And I was so caught up, and he was so patient. Because I went to him 3 times. And I'm like, okay, so I know I put my raffle ticket, but I mean, why would I want this? And he's like, well, you don't have to put your ticket in there. And I'm like, well, no, but if it's for firefighters, I want to put my ticket in there because I want to support them. And he's like, well, it's a lamp. Oh, he was so nice. Yeah.
Aww.
So...
Well, but it's after we got off the firefighter, which again, thank you firefighters.
Yeah, thank you firefighters. More music from Craig.
Summerfest. Before we get into the
Fall
information you're about
Fest,
to give us, or Fall Fest, we're putting together the lineup for musicians now. So,
awesome. So you can put my name in the hat.
There you go. We'll just put you on all day. So the firefighter Olympics are going to be downtown. They're going to be in the park. The music and the celebration is going to be downtown.
Right.
Sort of like Winterfest was. We're going to be closing it off, putting up a stage. And then
downtown.
we're going to have, what's that?
Downtown, downtown, Main Street.
Downtown, we're going to have vendors downtown. Main Street
Avenue.
will be closed off.
Main Avenue.
Main Avenue.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Craig. None of us would have been able to find it.
Which Main? Main Avenue?
Where's Park Avenue at?
Oh my God, I asked that question.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, why does everybody keep saying Park Avenue?
It's $3.95. Just if you didn't know. I like maps. Yeah, so anyway, we kind of covered Loon Lake Summerfest. What's interesting is I'm noticing that all the things that I'm talking about are happening at about the same time, but they're in different locations. So if you're close to any of this stuff and you're looking for something to do on Saturday, you should go check it out for sure. The Fruitland Valley Vineyard and Winery is having live music with Justin Johnson this Saturday from 4 to 7. Then Fired Up Brewing has an open mic for you jammers out there or people that want to go out and express some of their art with Chase and Yuri, and that's from 5 to 9. That's the brewery in Colville, Fired Up Brewery.
Mm-hmm. And what day was that?
That's on Saturday.
On Saturday, okay.
Yep. Then the Garlic Fair is happening at the China Bend Winery from noon to 5, and they're having live music with Murphy Legacy.
Where is that?
That is just north of Barstow, I think is where it is. It's on the other side of the river from Northport. So the Columbia River or the Lake Roosevelt. Do you know where Northport is?
He's looking at me. He sees the blink.
So it's about Northport's about half an hour from Colville North.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like going the opposite direction from Republic then, or?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like directly north of Colville. So you have to go in order to go up to China Bend, you have to go across the river and then go north of Barney's Junction, and then you have to cut over the Kettle River and then follow the Lake Roosevelt or Columbia River north until you reach it. And you can see, there's signs on the side of the road. It's like 20 miles.
But it's a garlic festival.
I don't even care where I'm going. Just getting there sounds beautiful.
Right?
Oh, it's a great area. You can fly in, you can boat in, you can drive in. Yeah.
So is that up near like the like past Kettle Falls, that area? Because I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get around. I don't get out much. I've been here 8 years, and a lot of these places that everyone talks about all the time, no idea where they are. Because I don't look at maps. Geography was my worst subject in school.
Oh my gosh, I love maps.
It's a beautiful area up there. The vineyard's awesome.
So is it up towards Republic Way, or is it?
Well, it's kind of it's up more towards Northport, but it's on the other side of the river from Northport.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do love that whole area up there, like Republic and that whole area. It's gorgeous up there.
I love how you're only repeating the one city that you remember, which is Republic.
And again, I want everybody to know that there is probably a lot more things going on, but these were just things that I could find really quick. I really want to get a place where people that are wanting to promote their stuff they have one-stop shopping, so that they can get their stuff on the air. The next thing I saw was a Building Benefit Bash concert in the park. This is in Colville on Saturday. Concert begins at 5. The bands that are playing are the Major Minors, Lonely Mountain String, Minimum Wage Musicians, the Backseat Pickers featuring the Mansfields, the Robertsons, and the Ames, and Michael's Boys, and the Johnson. This sounds like a really big group, and others. So it's probably just a big old jam session that's happening there.
Wow.
So very cool.
That sounds awesome. So
that sounds fun.
the minimum wage band. I mean, who are there bands around that make that much?
I need to like audition for that group. Wow.
Right. Tip your bands, people. Come on.
But yeah, and then on top of that, I've got karaoke at Fired Up.
Very cool.
Pizza tonight, and then Cahoots on Saturday evening. So
Right, and then the Blues Jam on Sunday.
the Blues Jam on Sunday
We
at
cannot
Fired
forget
Up
the
Pizza
Blues
in
Jam.
Chewelah.
Yeah.
Which I've been joking lately that it's like KCH. I'm gonna claim that KCHW is taking over the Blues and Brews Jam because we now have Craig, who is a DJ on KCHW. We have Doug McQuain,
yeah.
Old Man Mark.
Yep.
You're a DJ at KCHW, and
Yeah,
your
but
husband's always
yeah,
there.
my husband's always there. I tend not to go.
And so yeah, we're just gonna go plant our KCHW flag right there in the middle of Fired Up Pizza. Say sorry, Carrie. No, I'm kidding. It's not ours. It's not ours. We have nothing to do with it.
It's the communities. That's what it's for.
It
It brings community together.
No, it's exciting, and it's a good chance. I've heard quite a few people that have gone there and kind of connected and started working on side projects and stuff from this. It's a great place for networking for musicians. And now there was one recently at Andy's that was sort of an open.
Yeah,
jam.
we're
I heard some
doing
great stuff.
the second Wednesday an acoustic jam, so it's
Yeah.
a little different flavor than. Of course, it's a different restaurant, but sorry. And we don't amplify anything. I just bring acoustic instruments in.
Yeah.
So we haven't had like somebody come in there with like the really loud trumpet yet or anything like that until we have to start actually enforcing some kind of.
Are you
So you don't
singling
want me
out
to-
Daniel?
I was going to say, you want me to send Daniel with his trombone?
That's funny. That's almost like a, yeah. He's definitely welcome to come.
I don't know if you can see Craig's face very well, but he's like, sure, go ahead, send Daniel.
Daniel, we like to riff together. Him and I, we have fun.
Oh, he's an amazing musician.
He is.
awesome.
He's absolutely incredible. He really is.
Yeah.
He's a delight to play with.
I have to say, I have to share a Daniel story because I know none of you have heard enough Daniel stories. I have a lot of them, fortunately, so this can stretch. But anyway, when Daniel and I were dating, I only knew him as a bass player. Okay? And we were in Port Townsend and we were celebrating something, I can't remember. And there was an open mic. And Daniel was like, oh, let's go. And so he went up, and I'm like, but you don't have your bass with you. And Daniel used to travel with his little travel bass. I think you've seen his new one, right? But he used to have an even skinnier one, and he'd have his little amp on his pocket and all this stuff. And he's like, it's okay. So he got up, and he's like, hey, does anybody have a guitar I can borrow? And I'm like, oh, he doesn't play the guitar. He plays the bass. And he got up there, and I'm all nervous because I'm like, what is he going to do? What's going to happen? He doesn't have his instrument. Oh, my gosh. He played that guitar like I've never seen him play. He sang songs. He was like a crowd favorite. I'm like, wow, this is my boyfriend. It was so fun. Yes. Like, yay. It was pretty cool.
That's funny. When my wife and I were dating, it was more like, that's my boyfriend.
No, he's got a couple of crowd favorites he loves to sing, and one of them I'd never heard before. It's kind of off color, so I'm not going to mention it here. He's probably done it at the open mic on Sunday.
No doubt.
Yeah. I was like, Craig knows exactly which song I'm talking about. And he did that one, and then he did some other stuff. And it's so funny because, he's not like a brilliant guitar player. On the bass, he just makes it sing. But I was like, wow. And then he picked up a clarinet, and then he picked up, he was like, I started with trombone. And he plays the piano like, I think the most emotive I've ever seen him is actually him just playing the keyboard.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't have
There's
him.
only so many notes.
Right? I wouldn't have him like play the keyboard during the open mic, but he sits down and he just plays. He just it's really quite beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, I've talked about him
I'm
enough.
sure he gets all fired up when he gets home. He's like, it's such a good jam today.
Oh yes, he is. He is. He comes like all jammed, and it's like a spiritual thing. He's like, yes, I got to play, and it was awesome, and I met these people, and I sat down and I listened, and then these people came and they danced, and then this great person came, and
Well, and at the Summerfest Center stage, like he came down to help tear down with Chuck.
Yeah.
And it was at the very end of Chase's set with his band, and his energy you could see it come in, and it just inspired this last little dance. Everybody kind of, because he was just coming through and just doing his, he's got the swagger going. And he's like, I'm here with the crew.
Yep, that's my husband.
I'm with the band.
Yeah.
With the sound. With the sound.
He looks over and he kind of, gives me the nod.
Yep.
We need to get Daniel a badge.
We made fast friends.
We do.
Yeah. We should have those for the events, like sound crew badges, just so people. Actually, I'm not even joking. We need that. We probably should for the next show start doing that.
So that they're identifiable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, I agree.
I mean, most of us know who's supposed to be back there, but there are times, when we should be identifiable for people that have questions or want to know what's going on or have other musicians, that want to put their name on our list.
Yeah, get information to Craig. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which we are doing that musician list still. It's kind of been delayed because we're actually now working with the Chula Creative District, who's going to do not just a musician list, but an artist list.
An artist list,
all different mediums, types of artists, musicians.
And we're trying to get it so you can fill it out online, because we know that nobody likes to go home and print out a form and then write out the form and then try to submit the form.
Well, it creates a lot more work when you can just streamline it.
It does. It does. And then it'll automatically go to a spreadsheet that will be available and a mailing list that we can, if there's anybody looking for musicians, if there's an event going on and you're trying to find musicians, you can then
hire Craig McQueen.
Yeah.
Except Craig is never available.
I'm never. Well, yeah.
That's not true.
Just true. Dollar signs.
Yeah. So, but then it'll be a list that will be able to be sent out to everybody on that list and say, hey, we are looking for musicians, and you'll be able to, and you can go down by the genre if you were looking for a certain
and I want to say
musician to fill out your show.
Yeah, and I want to say to all the people listening, you don't have to be a professional musician. If you just like to play, go down and put your name on the list.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of musicians here. You don't have to be a professional. You don't have to be amazing.
Right.
If you just love playing and you love music, then just come and jam, because you have an open group who's so supportive and so they'll just make you better than you were before just by being around them and playing with them. You'll learn so much. It's a great place for new musicians to go and just be around really experienced, calm, ego-free, just musicians. And I mean, that ego-free thing is huge because I know so many musicians. I had a band in Seattle for over 12 years, and, the ego is huge.
Oh, yeah.
You have a lot of people. It's just like, oh gosh, I don't want to deal with the ego.
I don't know what you're talking about. Every musician I've ever worked with has been amazing and perfect and wonderful and the best ever.
Oh, no, so it's really
work in progress here.
Right? It's an amazing gift. It's an amazing gift in this amazing community that the musicians that are here are so generous with their time. They're so amazingly supportive of each other. It's all about the music and creating an experience. It's not about one band over another band. And we have this amazing individual sitting next to me here who's putting the work out and making the efforts to make sure that every band has a voice, every band has a space.
Exactly.
And so just thank you, Craig.
Hey, you're welcome. What's really neat too is you see these jams, we do them over time, and these little groups form, and they come together, and then you'll see this little group form, and then they go do their own thing. It's pretty neat. I mean, even looking back, I became friends with Dave DeVoe quite a while ago. Before, I knew he played guitar. I didn't really know, but I'd go up to his house and we'd play around the campfire. And then when I was running my restaurant, I invited him down to come play there. And then it's it started this little fire. Yeah. And him and Ray have been touring all over. That's what they do in the summertime is they just kind of vamp around,
Started a fire around the fire?
Started a fire around the fire with the
That's
fire
right.
chief, yeah.
No, it's huge though, because a lot of people, they don't have the confidence to play in front of other people. They don't think they have enough talent, or they don't think there's an audience, or they don't think there's a lot that really prevents people from sharing. They're like, oh yeah.
Well, and he was completely content playing for his friends around the campfire. Yeah. But then he, he's like, wow, I can do this.
Yeah.
He's like, and I remember one time running into him next to SETI's, since we brought that up earlier.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he flagged me down. He's all, hey, I had this idea. He's like, I want to front a big band, and I want you to, kind of be the band leader, you know.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, that's really. It never really came to, at least not yet, you know. It hasn't really. But I mean, I did join I played bass with him for a few gigs, you know, and it's just, you know, it's just different. Like we have different tastes in music a little bit.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and style wise, you know, it's like he's more of a storyteller type artist, where I'm more of like, you know, I don't know, I wouldn't say perfect musician, but like music's a big deal to me, and it's just something that I grew up around.
He's more Arlo Guthrie. You're more Willie Nelson,
or something like that, something along those lines. Yeah, I definitely got the beard for it. You know? Yeah.
Are you Willie or are you Chris Christopherson?
That's a toughie, man.
Chris Christopherson always seemed like sort of the Outlaws. He sort of seemed like the base of the band. Like he was always like the sort of cool, level-headed guy. Yeah, I know he probably wasn't. I've heard some of the stories of him.
Right.
But you know, of the group, he was probably the least wild of the groups, and seemed like sort of a lot of people. You know, I grew up knowing him as an actor and didn't really discover his music till later in life. So you know, it's really been a joy later in life to understand, like, holy cow, this guy. You know, that I remember from movies and stuff as a kid, really had this amazing, I mean, world famous household name musical career that I wasn't able to discover till later in life, and I thought that was a cool thing.
That is cool.
Yeah,
that is cool.
But I mean, I think music's an interesting thing because there's like virtuosos that are like 8 years old that can play way beyond probably. I mean, even if I practiced my whole life, I might not ever achieve that level.
Right. Yeah.
But what's interesting is that, you know, you find your spots, you find your people, your kindred spirits in different musicians that you can really work with. And I think where I excel at is in the group atmosphere, being able to work as a group to create something bigger than you can as an individual. And I can go out and play solo. I mean, and I do well. I have a good response, but it's just not the same as the group.
Well, when you're listening to a band and they just sort of, you know, they kick into that gear where it's, you know, everybody just grooves together and it just becomes
the comfort and the trust.
Yeah, it becomes one. You know,
it's really neat. One of the beautiful things, and I know I talk about my band in Seattle all the time, but you know, again, 12 years practicing every week. I mean, you know each other, and your voices you've gotten used to singing with each other, and you're doing everything together. And there's nothing like that synergy of going up and having your music out there. And what's so beautiful, I love sharing this. My friend Karen is one of the most beautiful spirits I have ever met, and she is a brilliant lyricist. So her songs are stories and commentary. She's a classic 60s folk singer, you know, really. But she was always so intimidated to play. And I'm like, Karen, your music, you've got to get it out there. You've got to sing.
Yeah.
And when the band, you know, when Daniel and I left Seattle and the band broke up, it was like, you know, you've got to keep singing. You've got to go out there. Oh, no, nobody wants to listen to me. I have a weird voice. Nobody wants to listen to me. And I was so proud. This last summer, she did an open mic. She was an invitational open mic of original music. And she was invited to go and do a 30-minute set.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so she's gotten out there in these past couple of years and has really put herself out there as a solo musician with her guitar and just her voice and her amazing songs. And she's got an audience, and it's so neat and rewarding for me, just somebody who supported her for years, to see that coming to fruition. And it's like, yes.
And and some people, like, they don't have they can't, like you said, it's like, it's really hard to step out and do it all on your own, like to take that step. And it is, like, for me, like the preparation to be able to do a really effective job as a solo, I mean, it's a lot more work than, like, with the group, you kind of, you break up the work, right? And I mean, a guy I was actually at a jam last night, and he was talking to me. He's a guitar player, but he was like, "It's really hard when you become the lead guitar player and you're the singer, and so you have no time where you can just kind of sit in the back and just kind of riff. You have to be commanding it the whole time.
Right.
You got to know the intro. You got to know the verses, all the lyrics. You got to know the leads and how it all interlaces together, all the parts.
Yeah."
Yeah, it's quite a challenge.
Well, and to get in touch with what Paula was saying, nobody likes their own voice. You know, I've heard, you know, world famous professional singers
get used to it,
talk about that have been singing for decades. Talk about how they don't like to hear their own voice.
Yeah.
Even you know, and these are
like Billy Joel's an example. He's like hates his voice. Yeah.
Yeah. And imagine if, like, somebody would have told Tom Waits early in his career, "Oh, you have a weird voice. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to listen to that." And he took it to heart. So I think.
Well, and that's just it. Like Craig was saying earlier, there's always going to be somebody better. So you've got to get out of the fact I'm not
Right.
good enough.
Right.
So it's just about letting you share your expression and share your music.
Yeah.
And I'm just, oh my gosh, so proud of her and so proud of Daniel, so proud of all the musicians.
Well, and-
I got to work one-on-one with Josh, and
Oh, yeah.
he's just, hands down, I'm like, oh my God, I'll recommend Josh to anybody. He was
Yeah, he's
so
such
amazing.
a great addition to our
Yeah.
family, our music family here. He's awesome.
I do believe I have an email
his
from
ability,
him.
but also just a nice guy.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And he's, again, no ego, really low key. He just wants to play. It's all about just creating music. And just really, really generous, sweet, gentle man. Really like Josh.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? That if you guys don't have any other parting words of wisdom.
Happy birthday to everybody whose birthday is anytime today, tomorrow, or Sunday.
You know what? Wait, before we get out of here, let's go ahead and we haven't done our local birthdays yet. So I have our Tula Valley Lions Club calendar. We have, what is the date today? Today's the 16th.
16th.
Oh, we don't have anybody on our birthday calendar today.
What about tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, that's right, because we have the weekend coming
Yeah,
up. Let's
yeah.
go ahead and do these throughout the weekend. Saturday, we have Nellie Boone, David Ludwig, Denny Burmeister, and Andrea Beck with birthdays. Then Deb and Ted Casey have an anniversary. A happy anniversary and birthday, you guys. Then on Sunday, we have Frankie Harris with a birthday. Then Caleb and Michaela Smith and Pat and Amy Reagan have anniversaries.
Wow, happy anniversary and happy birthday, happy day, happy birthday, yay!
Now that you've already sung the birthday song,
Gonna
we're
have
go
a
ahead and do
good time.
yeah. So we don't have the morning show on Mondays, so we'll go ahead and read Mondays. We have Lindsay Belltown and Teresa Shannon with birthdays. Then Dave and Christy Park have an anniversary.
Ooh, happy anniversary.
Happy birthday and anniversary, guys. And I wrote it down on the calendar, very special, just for him, not on the Lions Club calendar, but our very, one of our most prolific commenters and one of our favorite listeners, Ken.
Ken.
Happy birthday,
Oh,
Ken.
here we go. Happy birthday,
There you
happy
go.
day, happy birthday, yay!
There you go.
Gonna be a good time.
We're having a birthday.
Da-na-na-na, right?
Right? All right, and don't forget, you can stay tuned right here tonight. We mentioned him earlier. Old Man Mark for the Blessed Classic Rock and More is going to be live in the studio from 6 to 8 p.m. Then from 8 to 10 p.m., we are stuck in the psychedelic era with The Hermit. Then we're going to stick around with The Hermit for another hour from 10 to 11 p.m. for Days of Confusion.
Ooh.
So, yeah, and get out there. Enjoy the cool weather today. Go outside and stand in the rain. I don't
That's
know
gonna be
I don't
wonderful.
know if it's currently raining. I haven't been out there in a while, but I'm about to walk and get a second cup of coffee.
Right.
And we'll see then. Have a great weekend, everybody. Get out, see some live music.
Yep.
Craig just made a face like he made.
I was like he was
going to
inhale.
I thought you already signed out. Sorry.
Nope.
Oh no!
Yeah,
no,
go
not
see
yet.
some live music.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's
Have a
plenty
great
happening.
weekend, everybody. Take care.
All right. This has been the KCHW Morning Show, 102.7.
I almost shut down my computer and I was working on a project.
The time is exactly 9 o'clock.
Your KCHW morning show made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chihuahua